Hello YouTube, this is Steve from Glasses Gaming, here with you after playing Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. In my first video on the Unwound Future, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a good game, a good puzzle game full of intriguing puzzles, a very likable protagonist, but I did have some issues with the fact that how the puzzles came out of nowhere sometimes. They really didn't relate to the story that well. And in the end, it was a good game, but it just felt very disjointed at times. Well, now that I have played the whole thing through, and I've given a lot of thought and effort into trying to describe the emotions going through this review, it's really difficult to say, the impact, or how to, articulate the impact this game has had on me. Because it really has. That ending it could possibly be the greatest video game ending I've ever experienced, even more than The Last of Us. And it got me more than The Last of Us. It's so difficult to explain why a game like this can just turn it around out of nowhere. So I decided to, I don't really know, add a sort of part 2 to the review of Professor Layton, where I obviously reevaluate the game based on the second half, which I played through, and just sort of go through my experience and how the story just completely invested me and sort of blew me away in the final chapter. Well, I'm gonna get one thing right out, straight away out of the question. I thought the robot thing was pretty stupid, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the whole thing with the turning the spoilers, the clock was actually an elevator. I thought that was a nice twist. And I thought that, turning the sort of future London into a sort of a cover-up for a failed experiment, that was a great idea. But the robot thing, that just came out of nowhere, You're turning this genius plot of a fake future, sort of like a movie set, and then sort of throwing it all away and breaking the illusion with a gigantic death-flinging robot of the future. And that's probably the only flaw that I found in the final third of the game. That sort of kind of got to me. But now with that out of the way, I'd like to start talking about, what I did like about it. And surprisingly, the puzzles I could get over as the game went on. But, when we got down to the nitty-gritty, the actual story, I was amazed at how well this game, really just got me invested in these characters even more than I thought I could be. Because when I thought about it in the beginning, I thought Layton was he was a good character. I like the fact that he's very brave, very noble, he's like a gentleman. But I thought that was it. I thought he would be a one-dimensional, one-shot character. But now that I've seen his relationships with Luke, his relationships with his lost love, I realize that this guy is tormented, not on the inside, and he's not really tormented, but he's gone through a lot. And a lot of his past events and tragedies have shaped who he is and who he is today, and how he progresses as a detective and all the lessons he learned, his hat, the hat he wears, the gentlemanly behavior. We finally realize that that's all a product of his lost relationship with a girl he liked. And their relationship is by far one of the most satisfying things in video games. One of the most unbelievably tragic love affairs in probably all of the media. Just the way they pull it off. Two extremely happy people who like each other, are living completely content lives, and then all of a sudden just one of them is just tragically pulled away from the other due to a fatal accident. That is just heartbreaking. And not only that, it's just solely because of the fact that Layton is such a likable character. This guy doesn't deserve it. This guy has done nothing wrong his entire life. He's been a gentleman. He's been a good, honest, and courageous detective, and now he's just gone through this really personal tragedy. And honestly, that hits it home a lot more effectively than most other characters who go through these these issues, because you really care about this guy. You sort of see like the emotions that go through his head when he finds like, his lost love and reconnecting with her, and you can see how hard it is for him to let go. Like in the end, in the very final scene in the alleyway, when he finally breaks down and he yells for his love, Claire, not to go, that is like the first genuine emotion you can see in this guy. And it really got to me. Like, when I finished the game and went to bed, that image of him just like teary-eyed and like trying to contain his sadness and grief, it literally struck a chord. And I honestly can say it's probably one of the top 10, maybe even like the top video game ending ever. Just for like the sheer emotion, heartbreaking conclusion that's ever been put to like media, like games, movies. It really got to me. And I can guarantee that I will be going back just to revisit some of the conversations they had, just to reevaluate their relationship. And just I really love how they worked with these characters, how like their relationship is like displayed, and just how like it just adds a completely new dimension to Professor Layton's character, which I never even thought about. And it's really exciting just to like explore, maybe even do like a spin-off game on like what they were like before, the tragedy happened and Claire died in the explosion. That would be an amazing thing, because they really got a spark here. And I really hope they work more on it. But not just that, it's like they completely also like, it was a very brief moment in the game. But you see Luke, he wanders off, and then he looks at a statue that is clearly supposed to symbolize Professor Layton and Luke himself. And it shows like it's like a statue with a plaque that says like something about friendship. And you realize in that moment that Luke has to go away once the adventure's over. And like the music that plays, and there are no words. It's just Luke staring at the statue of Layton and himself, holding hands and being happy. But you can tell that like the characters care about one another, and they really don't want to be separated. They don't want to let go of what they have. And I think that's one of like the essential themes that the game really conveys in a very spectacular and also subtle way. How like you have to value the time that you get with the people you care about, but you also have to learn how to move on and to let go. And honestly, that is like something it's truly amazing how this game conveyed this message in two of like the relationships, two of the bonds. One of them that's broken and one of them that will last forever. It's truly remarkable how Professor Layton in the Unwound future just took the story to a fantastic, amazing, unprecedented new level of storytelling that I was just blindsided by. I honestly hope that everyone who gets a chance, whether it's through an emulator, though I don't, support video game pirating, and I don't support, any stealing of any kind, but if you ever get the opportunity to play this game, I really insist that you just get ready for an emotional roller coaster, because the ending, even if you don't even get a chance to play the game, just look up the ending of this game, and I will guarantee that you will be in tears by the conclusion, because it's truly one of the best endings I've ever seen. And now that I've gone through the whole game, now that I've reevaluated the story elements, which have all hit bullseyes for me, and now that I've even like gotten to see some of like the new features, like bonuses that like they add replayability to the game, and just that ending, everything came together beautifully. And now that I think about it, I think Professor Layton and the Unwound future deserves a fantastic rating of 9.5 out of 10. It truly did a complete U-turn and soared to new heights. Thanks for watching this video. I really hope that you go out and enjoy Professor Layton. I hope you enjoy this video, the commentary, and I hope I can put some more of these out before the summer ends. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys soon.